Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Sagittarius. Today you have your full moon, and that means that your opposite sign, Gemini, Sun in Gemini, is giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. And so here comes the combination of an air sign and a fire sign. Both of you are knights. Here, this is the Knight of Swords, and you're the Knight of Wands. And the number 6 is the union between the dualities, is the lovers, is that self-love that we're always looking for. And you have come to a state of consciousness where there are no more two people, there are just two cups. And you're blending the two cups, right? And that's why Temperance is called blending. And when we blend, we understand that the Wheel of Fortune, the 10, and the 4, the Emperor, together create then the spiritual message, which is something you really love, because as Sagittarius, you are searching for the world. You are searching because you, as the 9th house, loves to learn and to study and loves to dive into the philosophy. And so here you are believing that you have the power to help others to dream big, right? That's what's coming up here with you. It's dreaming big. It's you are ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is huge. Jupiter is not only the explorer, but he's also the wise one that is helping us to see that we can dream big. And then calculated together, we get the 5, and the 5 is then the 5 senses, and also the messenger, the Hierophant, Taurus, right? And calculated these two cards together, we get either a 20, which is the calling to unite the two opposite signs, right? That's what the 20 means. The 2 is also the High Priestess, to know in your intuition that this is a good thing. And then, of course, I can also hear the 5 and the 6, calculate that together instead of 14 and 6, right? Then I get the 11, and the 11 is the inner teacher, the knowledge that we gain when we learn about numbers, when we learn about astrology, when we learn the mystical side of life. And so here you see Mercury ruling Gemini. Gemini is, of course, really understanding the language and the message that is coming down from Mercury. And so here is really an amazing energy, right? Jupiter, that white and ideal and that grandeur, and now Mercury bringing us that information. And so we will look into what is coming through. The yoga position for Gemini is here, of course, King Pigeon, reaching back into the feet, because the shoulders, the arms, and the hands are connected as a body part to Gemini. And for you, it is, of course, Paschimottanasana. You are leaning your heart on top of your thighs, because that's your body part, your thighs, right? And so here, when you combine the upper and the lower part of your body, then you're also creating a union. And so then you find that you are the guardian angel here that is helping others to see. Now here in the Medicine Woman Tarot, the Gemini is ecstasy, and it's a very beautiful card, right? You can see he is kneeling down, they're both kneeling down, and they offer each other to each other. And so it's a very beautiful way of looking at it. So this just right now to Sun and full moon today, right? I do the reading really on the day the moon is in your sign. As a court card, you are the Eagle. Is your birthday between November 13 and December 11, then this is your court card, right? Here you are, the Eagle, the one that flies high and dreams big, right? If your birthday is before or after, please look in the description. I have listed them all there. as a Sagittarius, the arrow goes out into the world. You want to discover the world new. And again, the ninth house, right? You are the number 9 in the court card, but also in the house, right, of learning and believing and philosophy. Back to the last reading, because everything is cyclical. We have Taurus Sun giving Sagittarius Moon the light. Yes, you are the Empress who creates and births new ideas. So Taurus brought you here quite an empowerment, right? Taurus is really grounding us, and in such also the Empress is Venus. We were looking at Venus, and this month we're looking at Mercury, and Mercury is the magician. And so we're gonna pick a card out of the Grand Eteia deck here, the Egyptian Gypsy Tarot, and we're gonna look what is coming up. These cards are quite slippery. It's funny, I have never worked with them, and so they're hard to manage. They don't have my grease or whatever it is what makes them so less slippery, right? Okay, here we go. Let's see what is coming up. Now these are very interesting cards, right? They're connected, of course, with the Kabbalistic tree of life. And we will see here the opinion. Look at that, the number 16. So I will have a look at what the 16 means. 16, of course, first of all, is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 6, Gemini, the lovers, right? And then, of course, 16 is also Mars, and Mars is the Tower. And then when we calculate it together, we get the 7. The 7 is the emotional intelligence, the Chariot. So let's see, 16. Ooh, 16, the Last Judgment. So this card invokes understanding and devotion. It can sometimes provoke suspicion and foolishness. So, like I said, right, where did we have the connection to the 20 was here. These two calculated together, we get the 20, right? And the 20 is, of course, the Last Judgment in the classical tarot deck. Here we have the 16. And inside here there's the 20. There is the High Priestess. So the 16 and the 2 is the 18. In your subconscious, you learn there is a calling. A big calling, right? And in that calling, you are called to use your intuition. And when you use your intuition, you're always on track. You always listen to the soul, because the soul connects through your intuition to you. That's the soul's language. Sometimes it's a word, sometimes it's a sign, sometimes it's a number. And I use numbers a lot, as you can see. And so we begin the reading. We're reading the last time to the right. This is the final stage, right? This is the final stage of you having arrived at your opposite sign. Remember, right? When these opposite signs come together, there is like an awakening happening. You're learning the most from your opposite sign, which is Gemini. And so we are reading to the right. And it's interesting because I was just until yesterday reading to the left, right? Like today is again 2 weeks to the right, and so sometimes I'm like, where am I on the table with the cards? But I just did the German reading, and I hope I'm going to be a little bit easier now with your reading. So the Fool is saying that the Three of Swords is speaking here to you, and the Fool is Uranus. And Uranus is, of course, the new beginning, a new round now under the Sun in Gemini, giving the light to the full moon in your sign. And so this is a very special moment. The 3 and the 0 is then 30, and that means this is the constellation Saturn in Libra. And Saturn in Libra is, of course, the finger, the intensity of how your mind sometimes works. So here you have the duality crossing and one thought cutting through duality. It's the thought that goes up to the higher spiritual intention. A lot of modern readers have brought here a threesome into this card, and I don't see that, right? I see here that you, if you don't know what to do, you need to really meditate and focus on one thought, and that's that foolish idea that is coming to you and saying, plant that seed, whatever that seed is, right? It is important because here the world is grieving. This is also the grieving of a mother for her child, or the grieving of the world because of what is happening right now in the world. And so have a look at that. Then speaks the Magician, and the Magician is saying, then comes a lightning. When that sword comes up, light comes down, and you are almost like enlightened, and it's like you're awakening. And here's a 3, and here's a 3, and interesting enough, there's a 3-0, and this is a 3 and a 0 as well, because it's on the position of the Fool. So there's a 30-30. And plus the 1, you get a 31, then the 4. The Emperor is coming here, and the Emperor is the one that says, well, now I can take action, because Libra, right, Saturn in Libra is opposite of the Emperor. And so the 4 here is literally saying, yes, here Mercury, right, because again, the Magician is Mercury. And so here the Magician is bringing you the resources, and particularly here the light of this one sword that's pointing up, and you're not stuck in the duality anymore. And so here the 30 and the 1 is the 31, the 4. But I also want to see you as a clarification what comes through this lightning, and it's the 4 of Swords. Now this is very interesting. You have 3 and 4 swords. That makes 7 swords, and you had as the 16 the 7. And the 7 again is the Chariot, is Cancer, is the emotional intelligence that we need. Now this card is upside down. Usually upright is you are meditating. You are seeing the lightning. You are knowing that when you point your energy, your thoughts up to the spiritual, then you understand really that meditation can help us. But it's upside down, right? And when it's upside down, it's almost like that's why the lightning is coming, to wake you up. You are not meditating. You are somehow stuck in a situation, in a sad situation. And here with the reverse of the 4 of Swords, which is connected, of course, with Jupiter in Libra, right? So here you had Saturn in Libra, now you have Jupiter in Libra, and Jupiter is your planet. Jupiter is ruling you. And so Jupiter in Libra is saying you need to quiet down. You need to find in your mind these 7. You need to listen to this call. This call is important, the 20, right? And that's what is happening here when we calculate these 2 together, we get the 20. And so it's almost saying, yeah, there is really today a very special message coming. And so here we have a 4-4 portal then, right? Because you can see that the 4-4 is being creative in the way you use the 4 elements that are lying here in front of the Magician. He has the resources. He knows exactly what to do with the 4 elements. And so you are invited to awaken awaken to the way you think through Gemini, the Knight of Swords, thinking, new type of thinking. So observe and watch what's speaking. Then speaks the High Priestess, and she brings you the Hierophant. And the Hierophant was the last reading, right, Taurus? And it was, yes, you are the Empress who creates and births new ideas. And so here the Hierophant is looking at this light, and he is like, wow, yes, I need to awaken, I need to get enlightened, right? And so the 5 and the 2 is again a 7. So here you have a 7, and then you had again a 7 with the 7 of Swords, right? And now you get another 7 coming here with the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is your intuition. And your intuition is saying, look at Taurus Sun that gave Sagittarius Moon the light. Yes, you are the Empress who creates and births new ideas. So remember that you are someone special. You can create a new spiritual paradigm, because these are the 5 senses that we're using, and the intuition is speaking to you through the 5 senses. And the 7th, again, like I said, is the emotional intelligence, the 7th chakra. Then speaks the Empress and brings you the world. And the Empress is saying the world is letting you know that you can do something amazing if you listen to the spiritual message, right? Because this is ruled by Venus, and she is Venus. And so Venus brings you the world, and the world is Saturn. And Saturn came, of course, here through the 3 of Swords, right? The sadness in this world is intense sometimes, and so you need to look that the 21 and the 3 creates the 24, and that's a 6 calculated together. And so Gemini is talking. Gemini through Mercury is talking, and he's telling you, you better watch out. Now I can make a 3, and out of this a 3, then I have the 33 portal. And that's the secret brotherhood's degree of mastery, right? 33, and that's it. And not many people were having that kind of title. So the world needs the help of Taurus, of Leo, of Scorpio, and of Aquarius. And you see how she is facing physically the right, but she's looking over to the Hierophant. She's looking to the left. Intuitive, she knows something here with Taurus is important, and so Venus speaks here through the world to you. Then speaks Gemini. And Gemini is saying, then the Sun in Gemini is giving you a deeper understanding of how we can communicate, of how we can actually really find a union deep within us with opposites, right? And so the 19 plus the 6 is the 25, and that's a 7 again. And it's really interesting, right? The 7 is the Cancer energy that we must understand as an empowerment in our emotions. The Chariot, right? We go further, we go deeper, we learn only through the emotions. And so the 7 is left here, and that's what the Sun is saying. Shine like you have an emotional intelligence, and you understand that the world is waiting for your emotional intelligence, so that things like this don't become normal, right? Then speaks the eagle, the Knight of Wands, and here we have the 5 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles usually is a difficult moment in life, right? That's Mercury in Taurus, and of course Mercury is speaking through Gemini to you. And here is a moment of difficulty, right? You somehow don't think you worth it. And interesting enough, right, we have the 9 plus the 5, which is the 14, which is you. You need to blend. You need to learn to blend. And if you don't know how to blend, right, Go and learn it, because the 14 is Temperance, is you, and then the 5 is left. So you need to learn to love yourself, and that's why the Lovers is opposite of you. The Lovers brings you the Sun, right? And the Sun is in the Lovers, so it's really bright. It's really like pushing you to fly high and to understand, I am worth of being a person that can help others and be with others and teach others, right? And that's what is coming through here. Then speaks Sagittarius, Temperance, and brings you here the example of pipes, and that's a Leo. And Leo is, of course, the 5th house of joy and fun. And we have, when we calculate the 14 together, a 5-5 portal here. And the 5-5 portal is letting you know 2 times the 5 with the 5 of the Hierophant is 3 times the 5. And 3 times is become powerful in the way you understand who you really are. You need to learn who you are, right? Because we have a 5 here, we have a 5 here, we have a 5 here, and we have a 5 here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times the 5. And 4 times the 5 is in your heart, you know that your self-worth can be lived out into the world by going out to your opposite sign, going out to Gemini and learning everything about Gemini there is to learn, and include that in your blending. And so very clear, right, that you are learning in your subconscious something very profound about self-worth, because that's what this is all about. Then speaks the Moon in your dreams, right? In your dream comes sometimes the most fascinating things, and the dragon's hoard protecting the future comes up here, the 12, which is the Hangman. And the Hangman is Neptune, and Neptune is let yourself dive deep and see that here this dragon is actually protecting this egg. We are in the year of the dragon, very interesting. So the dragon is coming, and so the 18 turns into a 9, and the 9 plus the 3 here calculated to 12 is then again the 12. And the 12 means let go, the Hanged Man. Allow yourself to dive deep, allow yourself to see that when you blend, you understand more and more what it's all about, and you find then the leadership, right? You're not anymore a knight, though the knight is beautiful, he's an eagle, and the eagle sees everything from above, right? But now you're down here like Leo, and you rule like a king. And so see the combination here, right, that the 3 is left, and the 3 means the Empress, and the Empress came last time. You are, yes, you are the Empress who creates and births new idea. Now I wanted to see what brings here the dragon's hoard, and it brings the Queen of Swords, or the Priestess of Swords, and that's Libra. And Libra came here, right? The 3 of Swords and the 4 of Swords, right? The 3 was Saturn in Libra, and the 4 was Jupiter in Libra. And now comes Libra, the Queen of Swords. So when we look at it, right, the 3 is the Empress and the 4 is the Emperor, calculates together, we get the 7. And she's the 7th house. It's very powerful what's happening here. And the 7th house is saying, well, this is what relationships are all about. We need to unite. We need to connect. We need to find a true love, a deeper love. We need to find even an ecstasy where we honor each other. And this is what she's sending out through the owl, right? She's standing up here on the mountain, and she's like, yes, I know for the future I want our children to know that they are safe, that they can really grow into something new, right? A new freedom, a new paradigm can come to us. And yes, I will support that. And so the 3 and the 7 is the 10. And the 10 again is then a new beginning. A 1 and a 0, a new beginning to think about the future for our children. And we do that. For our children, we would do anything. Then speaks the Sun. And the Sun here is the rebirth. Very beautiful card, right? We can see that here the sun gives you the power to awaken, and the sun has come here on the position of the sun. And so the sun is really saying, well, here you learn to heal. You get the 3 and the 4. You get the 4 and the 3. And the 4 and the 3, again, remember, is here also the 3 and the 4, the 4 and the 3, right? That's the Empress and the Emperor. And so here, the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, the Emperor and the Empress create again a 7. The 19 turns into a 10. The 10 and the 7 is the 17, is the star. And the star is Uranus, and Uranus was bringing you the 3 of Swords, and the world is sad. The world is Saturn in Libra, really going through a difficult time, and so you can unite. You can unite because you holding in your hands the 2 cups, right? One is pouring into this one, and this one takes what this one gives him, right? And then reverse again. And so that's what the 2 palms are doing, right? One is masculine and one is feminine, and together they create the magic, the alchemy. And that's what the magician is all about, right? And the magician brought you the lightning, and the lightning is happening here. You see that? And so here we see the 17, the 10 and the 7, and the 8 is left. The 8, that infinite spiral that brings us a certain strength once we have understood it and what it's all about. But I want to see, what are you creating here between your 2 palms? And it's the 8 of Pentacles, and that's the sun in Virgo. And the sun in Virgo is like you becoming a master in the way you heal, in the way you use the magic. And so there's an 8-8 portal happening here, right? And so the sun is saying, yes, you have understood it. You have really united yourself with Gemini. Gemini brought you the sun, and the sun gives you a rebirth, gives you a magic rebirth, right? And you are becoming a master in what you're doing. And it's just amazing, the 8-8 portal here letting you know you're on the right track. And today on your full moon, you're getting such a blessing, such a beautiful message, right? It's really amazing. Then speaks the world. And the world here in this deck is the Dancer. And the Dancer, of course, brings you joy, right? That Saturn is not only like the finger and the father figure, but it's also joy. It's also understanding that the world needs help. And here comes the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups, you don't have any other cups. I'm just looking, right? The 4 of Cups is the moon in Cancer. Now you had 4 swords. Remember the 4 portal here, very important. Do meditate. See that it's important for you to understand how the thoughts and the mind functions. And so you do not fall prey of being stuck in the cup of love, looking at the 3 cups and thinking, oh, I wish I had more cups. But you are in the most important cup, is the cup of love. And so here again we get a 4 and a 3. That's the 7 here again. And so you understand very clearly that here is a message through the 7, right? And the message, of course, when we put now here the calling is to see the 16, which is the 7, right? The 7, the emotional intelligence that brings you the calling, and the calling is the 20. The 20 is the 2, as well as the High Priestess that understands how everything is functioning. And so here you are seeing now that, yes, the world is in pain, the world is here, seeing that there's a lot of cruelty happening, but we can help, because 3 swords are 3 cups here, right? And again, remember the 4 swords are the 4 all together. So when you meditate, right, you see then that the 4-4 portal is very clearly helping you to understand that these 3 swords are these 3 cups that you're looking at, and you are not seeing that you are in a much bigger cup, that you are actually able to get yourself out and dance and be in the emotional intelligence and be the eagle that looks from above down and sees that I can heal when I unite, when I blend. And this blending is important. This blending I learn here through the ecstasy. And this ecstasy is then what we get when we have 4 cups. It's just like the state of consciousness that it's like I have everything I want, but now I'm already slowly getting bored, right? So why are you getting bored? Because you have everything? No, you don't, right? You continue and you learn, and remember you also have the lightning, the 3 here, right? And so it's very clear. This message is strong. Really, you are the Empress, and as an Empress, the 3 is clear. You have everything you need. So give back, right? Unite the 3 and the 4, and understand that the 3 and the 4 again is masculine and feminine, is uniting, and is the calling, the big calling that is saying you are here to be a guardian angel. You are here to unite the upper and the lower. You are here, the blender. And when you blend, then you unite, and you're in the one and only love there is, and that's the higher consciousness. That's the sword that's pointing up, and that's the healing that you can create today for the world. What a beautiful reading. I hope I see you in the next one. That's when we have the sun in Cancer, and so that's why I think the 7 came so many times. The 7, right? Understand that the 7 is an important energy. Understand that the 7 is the uniting of the Emperor and the Empress. And so until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Wishing you a beautiful ceremony on your full moon. Namaste.